does look as though that's exactly it. Already a couple of the Tempo Storm guys getting pressured. Nate comes out. That could be huge. Oh, he's going to damage. Oh, that could be two. Can he get the job done? The nade's great as well. Fausto's still in this.
Yeah.
And there it is. Incredible work coming through. Great kills. You can see what that means to these guys. They came through the qualifiers. Yeah. These guys have grinded and grafted through this one. And they've turned up and delivered against some of the very favorites. You've had Tempo Storm coming into this looking great. They looked solid. Yep. Really in this AAA lived up to expectations. That's not to even be discussed. But again, what a great way to start this one off, seeing a young, hungry team coming into this and delivering.
Absolutely. These are teams, especially if you look at the top 5, and I'm sure they'll talk about this and tell you all about it. These are teams that all needed to come in and perform tops, and all of them are here. The only one that I think we heard as a favorite is AAA sitting in 3rd. Yep. That was just an absolutely brutal final. And you know what? Kudos to DC, because their usage of the car explosion and the grenade combo was absolutely brutal, because Tempo Storm had every advantage and walked away without anybody alive. Which
is really damn surprising. A little low on the kills for Tempo Storm, but really good positioning. That's one that you got to say. They really played the positioning very well. AAA, I think, were the team for me that lived up to the playstyle that we expected, right? Aggressive, confident, willing to take fights and deliver on them, and they did that. I think maybe some teams were a little caught out with how aggressive they were.
And how smart they were. They made the long rotation on the water to get behind everyone. They knew where the circle map would require them to be.
And even going north side on that kind of late couple of circles rather than going for the slow burn around the southeast that caught out so many teams. What, EG got caught on that, Corn Shuckers as well. You know, there were so many issues that happened, even though they played in theory the right way, but great mentality coming out from these guys, and got to say credit where it's due, they really turned up here today. But let's hear from them themselves, down with Sims with the interview.
From Digital Chaos. First question, it has to be generic. How does it feel taking the first win of the day?
Feels absolutely amazing to know that like 8 teams will come here and actually win a game, and to win the first one going in, it's such a huge like confidence boost. It feels amazing.
Well, let's talk about your journey here, because it wasn't easy. Obviously, you had to go through the qualifiers. I mean, how much of a task was that, and how much pressure does it kind of add on to yourself, knowing that you're coming into this against all these kind of invited teams, so to speak?
I actually feel like it relieves a little bit of the pressure. You know, we went through the qualifiers, we went up against 320 teams in total. Top 4 went through, we came out, you know, 4th place and we got through. I actually think that relieves the pressure, because we know that we've fought our way to get here. We know like we've earned it, and it feels really good.
Okay, let's talk about your thought process then. Plane comes in, what's the first thing you guys are kind of thinking? What's the discussion that goes through the team's mind, and how do you plan where you're going to drop?
We're looking for like basically a safe area to loot at the start of the game. You know, a lot of areas are going to be contested, so we want to get away from the plane. We want to get vehicles. Sometimes we do something weird, catch people off guard. Sometimes we just do a standard, you know, go away from the plane, find cars, get loot. It's pretty straightforward, really. We just need to look around, like what other teams are doing, and then figure out what we're going to do based off of that.
What kind of play style would you say you guys go for? Are you looking to try and find a stronghold, a compound, try and get into early on, or are you a team that prefers to always be on the move, always wandering around and kind of taking the fights when they find you?
If we see a strong compound, we'll take it. We like to be on foot, we like to be fighting, but there's no point, you know, if a compound's in the middle of the circle, there's no point not being in it, right? But we also like, you know, if we can find a good spot on a hill you have a lot more mobility. You know, you're not as safe in a building, but you're also not as restricted. You can move around, you can fight, you can flank people. So that's what we were doing most of that game. We spent very little time sitting in buildings.
Okay, well, you know what? Congratulations. I'm going to let you go and chill with your team now. That's it from us. When we return, we're going to have more intense action. What a way to start off day 1, game number 1. We'll see you guys in just a second.